Hello students, this is Priyanka and I welcome you all for our day 4 session. I hope you all are going through our earlier videos and revising the concepts again and again. Try to create your own notes using simple language for you to understand the concepts better. So, today we will be taking the last part of our 11th standard basic concepts and start with the actual advanced web designing. Students, if you have got any doubt or queries related to any topic, please comment below the video so that we can discuss and share the solution with other students as well. So, let us not take more time and start with the session. So, today we will discuss all these topics. The first topic and the important topic which we'll be studying is the form. We will see why the form is required, then what are the basic elements or controls of the form. Later we will see how to create these controls and use the attributes. These all things we will discuss in details with the examples. Then moving on to the next topic is advanced control of the form. Now here onwards your 12th syllabus starts, which is related to the form part. That is why I am taking first the basic part in the form and later we'll be moving to the advanced controls of the form. Right? So in this topic we will study what are the new controls introduced in advanced web designing, what is the purpose to introduce them, what work they do, and how to create these controls. Then third and last part is validations in the form. In this topic we will see what is validation, how to create validation for the controls and why it is used, etc. There are different types of validations that we will see in details. Then validation plays a vital role while designing any form of a website. So all these concepts we will look in details in the further slides. So let us move to the next slide. So we will start with the forms in HTML. So students, first tell me what is a form and why it is required. We have already discussed this form concepts, so I hope everyone knows what is a form and why it is required. Just to go through, I am discussing all these concepts. So we will see what is a form. See, generally a form has got some elements where the user inputs the asked data, and after filling the form or all the details, he clicks on some submit button, which then submits this data to the server, right? So now in this example you can see there is one HTML form. Now there are different controls. So here the first control which we see is a simple text box. where it is placed after the first name. See, you can see after first name there is one text box, and in that text box you have to enter some data. So what data is asked here? That you have to enter the first name. So obviously the user will enter his first name, right? Then moving on to the second line, what is the label given to the control? It is last name, and in front of that there is again one text box. Now in this text box you will again enter some text. What text is asked? The text asked here is the last name of the user, so he will enter the last name, right? Then next line, you can see it is asking for an email ID. So in this text box the user will enter his email ID, right? Why this box is called as a text box? Because this text box will take the alphabets, the special characters, the numbers and combination of this. Hence it takes the input as a text. That is why it is called as a text box. Now moving on to the next line, you can see there are small buttons, circular buttons. For male separate button is there, and for female there is a separate button. Now this type of control is called as a radio button, right? This radio button has an important property. This button or the control can restrict the user from selecting only a single option from the given options in the form. Now here you can see the options given are two. There are two radio buttons, means it has got two options, male or female. So when there is a case when you have to restrict the user to select a single option from the given options, so in such condition you can use a radio button as the control, right? So if I click on male, there will be a dot in between this circle and it will show that this is selected. Suppose I want to change it, I want to make it female. So if I click on female, the radio button of female will be selected and male will be deselected. So this is how the radio button works. Means from multiple option, it restricts the user to select only a single option. But definitely there is an important property to make this function work. We will see later in details, right? On the next line, you can see there are two buttons. On the left side it is submit button and on the right side it is reset button. So these are the two buttons which have got some work to do. So first we will see what is a submit button. See students, what is the use of form? The use of form is what? Whatever data the user has input or given or whatever data is collected, that data needs to be saved somewhere. So this data is saved on the server, right? On the web server. So how do we send this data? So when you will click on the submit button, all the filled data will get collected and sent to the server and it will get stored in its database. So this is how the submit button works. Then coming to the next part, that is the reset button. What is the work of reset button? By the name it suggests whatever data you have filled, it gets reset. Means what? All the filled data is going to its original position. Means the form is getting blank. So this is the use of reset button. I hope it is clear. So we'll move to the next slide. So now we saw what is a form. So a simple form tag is not enough. There are some attributes, very important attributes, which we need to know in details to use this form tag, right? So we will see what are its attributes. So the first attribute we can see is the name attribute. Now we know that how to use an attribute, right? So since we are studying attributes of a form, so those attributes will have some value and it will be placed in the opening tag of the form, right? So here in the example you can see how it is given. So what is there? Opening tag of the form, then there is a space, then attribute is what? Name, and equal to some value. Now what is the name attribute? Simply we have to give a name to our form. See students, there can be a case that a single web page can contain multiple forms. So it is better to give name to all the forms, right, to avoid the confusion. So using name equal to some value, we are giving name to our form, right? So to the next attribute we'll move, that is the action. Now what is the action? See, here you can see that it specifies the URL of the server where the data of the filled form is to be submitted. We just now saw that whenever the data is filled, the user clicks on submit button, so that data is carried to the server, right? So server, the submit button should know that where it should go. So here we give the name of the server. Just see the syntax how it is. Again it is attribute of form, that is why opening tag of form, then space action equal to the server name. Now my server name is pjclogin.php. This is my server name. So when I will click on the submit button after filling the form, that all data will go to the pjclogin.php server. This is my server URL or the path where the data is to be submitted, right? So next, and the important attribute is method. Now here what you can see, this attribute specifies the way how the form data is to be submitted. Now this is very important. Just concentrate that method is an attribute which tells the form how to submit the data. Now this method can take only two values. Either you can give the value as get or post. So it can have only two values, method equal to get or method equal to post. Nothing else. It won't work, right? So first we will see if I specify method equal to get. See students, even if I don't mention method equal to get, it is by default get. So understand, if the question is asked what is the default method of the form, the answer is get. So if you want to make it post, then only you can use as form space method equal to post. If you simply write form tag, then what will be the method of submitting the form? It will be get. So we will see what get exactly means. Now here you can see what it is given. Here the filled data of the form is concatenated in the URL, hence the sensitive data can be misused. Now look what I am saying. Whatever data you have filled, suppose you are registering onto Gmail account, right? You are creating a new account. So what all fields it asks? It asks for your username, it asks for your phone number, it asks for your password, confirm password, and you click on register, right? So when you will click on register, this register button is doing the work of submit button. Means what it is doing? It is collecting all the filled data, whatever you have just filled, and it is going to the Gmail server. Now when it is going to the Gmail server taking all this data, in the URL, in the address bar, you can see all the data you have filled. Means your username will be seen to others, your password will be seen to others, and this can be misused, right? So this method is not a good way. If you are having some sensitive data, so it is better to use the other method, that is post. So get method is not supposed to be used if the data you are filling is a sensitive or confidential data, right? So next method is post. Now what is the post? It is the safest way to submit the form. Why? Because the data you are submitting is carried with the form itself. and it is not shown on the URL. So even if somebody is trying to hack your data, or somebody is trying to look into your data, he won't get your data. So your data is safe. So what we saw, that in the method you always have to use the post method. By default, what is the method? It is the get method, right? So let us move to the next slide. Now we will see the very important part, that is elements or the controls of form tag, right? So we just saw in the example few of them. We saw text box and we saw radio button, right? So here you can see the elements, the basic elements of the form. These all we have studied in standard 11, right? There are some more which we'll see in the next slide. So first let us revise this. So what is the first one? A text box. So what is a text box? A text box is a box which takes the input in a form of text, right? We saw for name, for email, for for second name. In the last example we had seen. Now second control is what? The password. See, the password is also a text box only, but the thing is, whenever you enter any value, those values are not shown. It will show either the disk or the asterisk depending on the browser you are using. We will see how it looks. Then third is the radio button. Radio button means there are the circular buttons, and which when selected there is a dot in between, and when it is used, generally when you have to restrict the user to select a single option. Then fourth is what? Fourth is checkbox. So it is a checkbox where you will, when you will click on it, you will get a tick mark. So it is called as a checkbox. It is generally used to give multiple option selection, right? Next is the submit button. We just now saw submit button and reset button, so I won't discuss this. Then last is what? Seventh is the button. A button is a simple button which can work according to the work given to it by us using some event handlers. We will see this also in details. So these 7 controls which we saw, these can be created using the input tag. Remember, purposely I have differentiated them into 2 categories. See, from number 1 to 7, if you have to create this control, you need to use the input tag. And the 8th and 9th control, that is the drop down list and text area controls, they have got their own tags. For drop down list, you need to use the select tag with options tag in it, and for the text area you have to have the text area tag. So this is where the students get confused. That is why I have splitted those in different. So the first 7, if you have to create them, you need to use the input tag, and below drop down list and text area, how to create we will see in the next slide. So let us move to the next slide. So now here, form elements or controls, right? So input tags attribute is there, that is type. Input tags attribute. See, attribute is what? Some additional information of that tag. So for input tag, you need to use the attribute type, and obviously this attribute will take some values. So depending on the value you assign, different controls are generated. We will see how. So first, if you have to create a simple text box. So to create a simple text box, what is the tag you are using? Input tag, right? You already saw for which all controls you have to use input tag. So input tag is open, and the attribute you are using is type. Now this type, if you give value equal to text, then a simple text box is created. It can take any values. You can see ABC 1 2 3 and dollar, means I can give combination, or individual I can use alphabets, numbers, or special characters. So that is input type equal to text will create a simple text box for me. Agree? So second, is the password. We just discussed that password is nothing but a simple text box only. But what is the difference? That whatever value you give, it is not displayed. It is either displayed as a circle, disk, or star depending on the browser you are using. Why? Because we don't want our password to be visible to others. So generally this input type equal to password. See, now the type equal to value is what? Password. So this creates a password box. Now next we have to create radio button. So if I want a radio button, how do I create? I will use input tag, type attribute, and now here equal to radio. So if I type this syntax, I will get a simple circle, and after this closing of tag I will write mail. So I will get a circle and mail. Now in the right side you can see example where I have taken a photo how a radio button looks. So there are two buttons. So if I want like this, I have to write this code twice and give the names male and female. Now if I simply use this code, what will happen? Both will be selected. It can happen that both get selected. But what is the use of radio button? That you have to restrict the user from selecting single option from the multiple option. So for this you have to use again a new attribute called as name, and name equal to some value you have to give. So for those both radio buttons, if I use name equal to gender and second button name equal to gender, so what happens? These two buttons are coming into a single group whose name is gender. So then only it will restrict me to select a single option from the group. If I don't use the name attribute, the radio button does not work as it should work. So whenever you are using a radio button, you have to use the name attribute compulsory. Otherwise you will see that the radio button is allowing multiple selection also, right? Then next is what? The checkbox. So the checkbox, how to create a checkbox? Input type equal to checkbox. So if you write this, you will get a simple square box, and if you click on it you will get a tick mark. So here in the right side you can see I have got 3 checkbox. So if I want the 3 checkbox with the names, I have to write this input type equal to checkbox, bracket close, reading books. Then new line, input type equal to checkbox, bracket close, listening to music. Likewise I have to write this code 3 times, then only I will get the 3 checkbox, right? Then next, submit button. So what is the work of submit button? We have seen. So what is the code for the submit button? Input space type equal to submit. And now very important, if I don't use its attribute value, then the name for my button it will be submit query. But I want the name has to be send. So if I want to change the name of the button to send, I have to use the attribute value equal to send. Clear? Similarly, second, input type equal to reset. Now if I don't use the value attribute of reset button, it will be reset button. The name of that button will be reset. But what name I want? I want the name as clear. So I have to use the attribute value equal to clear. Then next, a simple button. Simple button is created, input type equal to button. Now what name I want to the button? Value equal to add. If I give this, it will take that add. Now up till these 7 controls which we saw, all the controls are created using input tag. Now next we will see how to create the remaining 2 controls. Now if you see 8th one, text area, the text area is similar to the text box, but only the thing is that the area or the text box is a bit larger than the text box. So this text area is generally used when you have to input the address. Some larger input if you have to give some feedback, some comments, for those things you use text area. So for text area you have to use the text area tag. See students, this text area tag is a container tag, means it is opening tag and closing tag is there. If you write this simple syntax, you will get a box. Of course there are some attributes, but now we won't discuss them in here, right? And the last control is what? Drop down list. So first you will see what exactly a drop down list. So on the right side you can see there is an example of what? There is a list which when clicked it will show the options. So when I have clicked the button, now you are not seeing the button, but you generally get a button. When you will click, the remaining list items are shown. So what are the list item? Read a book, take a walk and singing. So if I have to create this type of drop down list, I have to use the select tag, and in this select tag I have to use the option tag, for which I have to give the options. That means you can see in the code I have opened the select tag, and in this select tag how many list items or options I have to give, that many options tags are there, and I am giving the names in between. You can see read a book, take a walk, singing, and after completion of my option my list is closing. That is why I am closing the select tag, right? So these were all the form controls, basic form controls. So let us move to the next slide. So now this is one example of a form which has got all the controls we just discussed. So you can see it has got first name, last name, password, email address, then gender, male, female, where we have used a radio button. For hobbies, I want multiple selection, that is why I am using checkbox. Then later I am using a drop down list, and after that a text area to get the comments, and last send for submitting the data, and clear to reset the data, right? So this is the actual form, how it looks. So let us move to the next slide. Now here the actual advanced input element starts. So this is from here onwards you have got the actual 12th standard syllabus, right? So let us see what it is given. Advanced input elements. Previously we used different types of control like text box, radio button, checkbox, submit, reset button, which were created using input tag to collect the data. Now here the advanced controls are introduced, which are used for the validation purpose. We will see what is validation. So let us not take more time and we'll move to the actual controls. So you can see input type equal to color, input type equal to number, input type equal to URL, input type equal to image, equal to date, equal to email. Then next is month, range. We all will see this in details in the next coming slide. So let us not waste time. We'll move to the next slide where all the details are given. So this is our first new control, that is input type equal to color. Now if you use this syntax, it will give a color picker, means below whatever picture you are seeing you will get a simple black box. When you will click on it you will get this color dialog box, and from those color you can select any color, and if you click on OK, that color will be applied to the black box which you see on the left side, right? Is it clear? So next, input type equal to number. Now this field generally is used to enter a number. See, it is a simple text box, but at the right side you can see there are arrows button, means this 7 I have entered. Now if I want to increase or decrease this 7, I can make use of the arrows on the right side. If I click on the upper it will increase, and if I click on the lower one it will decrease, right? So this is how input type equal to number works. Then next is what? Input type equal to URL. Means if you want a user to enter a URL, a specific URL in the text box and nothing else, so you have to use this control. So now you can see what I have entered. I have entered purposely a wrong input. What it is asking me, I have to insert an URL, but I am inserting what? www. The third one is not there. .gmail.com. So this is not a correct URL, right? So this box is checking it that this is not the correct URL. You enter the correct URL, right? So this is the use of this URL. Next is what? Input type equal to image. Now this control is used when you have to create a submit button with an image. Earlier we have seen a submit button is a simple submit button which you have to click, but if you use input type equal to image, you will get a image, and which when clicked it will do the work of a submit button, right? So in the above code you are not seeing any image because I have not taken any image, right? So below there you can see input space type equal to image. Then I am using the source attribute where I am giving the image file name, then later its height and width. So below you can see I have got the rose.jpg button, which when clicked it will work as a submit button, right? Next, input type equal to date. Now when you will type this control, you will first get this type of a calendar, and whichever date you click, whenever you will select, then you will get this. Whatever you will get is shown on the left side in the box. 22nd April 2020 means whichever date you will select by double clicking it, it will take this value. So if you are taking input type equal to date, it will simply take only the date part, right? Next, input type equal to email. Now here email, it is again expecting that user should enter an proper email address, a correct email address. So purposely again I have made mistake. I have written priya@gmail.com. See, the mandatory character of an email address is the @ which is missing. So what it is saying, please include an @ in the email address. So it is checking that the entered input is not a correct email address, right? So this is how it works. Next is what? Input type equal to month. Whenever you will write this syntax, you will again get a calendar, and whenever you will click some particular day, it will only select the month and the year. Since the type is equal to month, so it is basically concentrating on the month part. So it will take only the month and year of it, right? Next, input type equal to range. Now generally some controls are there where you get a slider from moving from left to right or whatever, 0 to 100. So if you want to increase, you will move this cursor to right side. If you want to decrease the value, you will move to left side. So whenever there is a requirement of such control, range control, you can use input type equal to range to increase or decrease. Then next is what? Input type equal to date time hyphen local or dash local. Now again you will get a calendar here, and in this if you click on some date, it will take the date part. It will ask you the time, the hours, the minutes, and also AM or PM. You can see here whole date part is there, then the time part is there in hour and minutes, and later it is asking AM or PM. So next is what? Input type equal to time. So now what do you think what it must show? It will concentrate only on the time part, and it will display only the time part. So here again it is displaying the hours, minutes, and AM or PM. Then next is what? Input type equal to week. So if it is week, it will concentrate on the week. So whichever date you will be selecting, for that particular date, what is the current week, that it will show, right? So if I have selected the 26th of April, it is showing that week 17 of 2020, right? Next is what? Input type equal to search. See, generally it is like a search button, simple text box, and you will get a cross. Suppose you want to delete all the text, so you will have to click only on the cross. That's it. Next is what? Input type equal to tell. Now this is a control used whenever you want the user to input some telephone number. So if I only write input space type equal to tel, and you can see I have entered some number, but it is not a correct number, I know. So but the browser is not telling me that this is something wrong. So if I want to tell the browser proper format of the phone number, I have to use another attribute, that is the pattern. You can see in the below note I have given, it is very important. You can see how we are using it. Input space type equal to tell. Why tell? Because we want to enter a correct telephone number. Now if I want the user to input his mobile number with the country code, right? So for the country code there are 2 digits, right? For our India, what is the country code? 91, and our mobile digit numbers are 10 numbers. So observe the pattern carefully. In the pattern I am using double quote, and in the square bracket I am giving the range of the numbers from where to where, and after closing the the square bracket, I am using the parenthesis and I am saying 2. So this 2 means it has got 2 digits from the range 0 to 9. Getting my point? In the square bracket I am giving the range of the number. See, obviously our phone number range will be from 0 to 9, not more than that, right? So this is our range of the phone number. How many digits you want for the country code? You want 2 digits. That is why in the square bracket we give range, and in the curly braces you give the total digits. So for our country code it is 2 digits and the range is from 0 to 9. So the country code can be 01, 02, 12, 19, 99, 91, anything, any combination. After that there is a hyphen. And now again square bracket 0 to 9, square bracket close. Now this time I want the 10 number of the actual mobile number, 10 digits of the actual mobile number. So getting, first part was the country code dash, second part is the actual mobile number consisting of 10 digits. So how it is written? 0 dash 9 square bracket, in the curly braces there are 10, and then after curly braces are closed, double quotes are closed, and the input tag is closed. So this is how you can check whether the inputted number or the phone number is correct or not. See, sometimes it happens that while entering you forget one number, one digit, but it is quite hectic for the user, for the one to whom you have submitted the data, to track what was the digit, right? So while filling the form itself, it is making the user compulsion that please enter correct 10 digits. So this is how the advanced control work, right? So let us move to the next slide. Now this is, I think, the last control, which is what? Input space type equal to file. Now here you will get a small box saying choose file. So when you will click on choose file, a dialog box is opened and it will ask you which file to select. See, generally this type of dialog box we get while uploading some file, when you are uploading some attachment, uploading some photos, right? So for such type of requirement you can use input type equal to file, right? I hope all the advanced controls are clear. If any doubts you can comment below, right? Please revise, students. Every day you have to go through whatever we have learned the previous day, so that the next day it won't be tougher for you, right? So thank you, that's it from my side for the today's session. In the next session we will see how to restrict the inputs, right? So thank you, bye bye, and take care.